Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today it's time for more legacy gameplay with Eternal Weekend Asia in the books. We have a ton of sweet deck lists, and this is one that really caught my eye. This is going to be Blue-White Stoneblade, a deck that adopts Ophelia plus Quantum Riddler for inevitability, tons of draw. It has Dazes in it, which is a little bit more tempo-esque. That plan works especially well with Wasteland and Stifle. Stifle, another card that's good with Failure. I added the 4th Tameo to the deck. I added the 4th Ponder. I did end up cutting Ophelia. Let's see if I'm going to regret that. For the Stoneforge Mystic package, we have Meteor Sword, which is a pretty sweet removal spell, especially good against Show and Tell. BO Formal Wear for grinding, returning Tameos, Failure, Stoneforges from the yard. And then Batterskull as our little bit of stabilizer against aggro, Ancient Tomb, and just, I guess, our Tarmogoyf in the deck. Slightly more hardcastable than Culture Complete, so we cannot run 2 7-drops. I do agree about that. Sideboard, I want to handle board state decks. I want to handle combo decks. I want to handle colorless decks. I want to have a little bit of interaction against the graveyard. Then I want a Poor Man's Pyroblast, and then I want a couple of Hydros. And then the last couple of slots, I want removal spells that are flexible in their own way. Dismember, a card you can cast turn 1, kill anything. And Celestial Purge, a card that handles, you know, Bowmasters, Kaito, Barragoyfs, just a bunch of stuff that could end up being annoying. Of course, the red permanents, you know, out of Red Prison, Core Steel Cutter, and what have you. So, yeah, I'm excited to play some, I'm not even going to call it Control, but I'm excited to play some blue spells today on the channel. All right, let's play some Magic the Gathering. No colored sources makes this an auto mulligan. All right, let's do that once more. And look at this. We have an opening hand that can play some spells. So now the question is, should I should probably just put back 2 cantrips here. Let's see. Is Ponder better than Brainstorm? I think in this low resource game, Ponder just might be better than Brainstorm. Let's see if I'm right about that. And I'm actually not even going to cast Ponder turn 1. Is that even true? Is that true? Let's see. If I cast Ponder turn 1, I could in theory find something like a Daze for turn 2. But if I get wasted, things get a little bit complicated. So would I rather get to play the game or try and be a big boy? Also, I don't know what I'm looking for with the Ponder, with the matchup being unknown. So yeah, I'm going to go fetch pass here. I don't love it. I mean, I don't like mulling to 5. That's kind of the thing that got me into trouble here. Let's see what the opponent is working with. Delver. Delver of Secrets. This looks like a tough one to beat with 5 cards. Okay. Well, I guess there's a plan now. Let's try and Stoneforge for Batterskull, I guess. My play is a little bit forced here. Mulligan to 5. Force of Will. All right. Opponent forces me back, and this spells big trouble. Looks like we will be fighting from behind this match. Chandler. Attack for 1. Pass. Stoneforge Mystic. Let's try for the 3rd time. Opponent is yeah, when I double mulliganed here, my opponent was licking their chops here. Just, I mean, triple counter, tons of 1-drops. Delver's so good at dismantling these clunky draws and mulligans, you know, same point. Getting daced twice on the while being on the draw is disastrous. That's not supposed to be an insane card again. It's supposed to be like bad tempo loss for the opponent, right? At the very least. If even that. But the opponent's living the dream here. That's all we can ask for. The opponent even reaches Delirium. There's also a little bit of a sub-game here with, does my opponent know that Stifle is a thing? Unclear, unclear. All right. Not too much to report there. We do have some nice sideboard cards, so let's see. I did not check any sideboard mapping for this deck before playing it, so let's see. So Force of Wills, we can easily cut. Stifles are high variance. I wouldn't mind cutting them at all. So I like all of these cards. Yes, I like all of these. So if I board down to one Stifle, is Dismember better than a Stifle? As a one-of? I'm not quite sure how effective Stifle is. Dismember also runs out of steam a little bit. So maybe the sword here is not great. Maybe a Stifle is better than the sword. So then I basically go Batter Skull if I think my Stoneforge is going to survive, and I go Full Aware if I think it's going to die, that type of logic. Riddlers. Yeah. Let's see if we can put up a better fight. Only getting to 5 and playing against the nuts is not a good way to showcase the deck. Okay, this hand is fine. We have a little bit of susceptible mana base. But we have Tamiyo that's going to kill turn 1. And then hopefully I can trade resources with Plows and Perch to buy time and then eventually take over. Worth noting is this card is going to get killed 99 times out of 100 because between pyros and bolts and stuff. Let's play Marsh Flats with the intention of plowing and fetching Surveil. Wasteland. That's fine. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go basic land. Yeah, I think now it's basic land time because second Wasteland actually puts me in the bin. So another good reason to play Marsh Flats here. Imagine I play Misty here, then I cannot go basic and step plow. Sometimes you need to make plays that are good on multiple levels. So here I play it out in anticipation of getting wasted, and if I don't get wasted, then I didn't, it didn't hurt me at all. Then I just fetch Travail, right? So it's like I leave the door open essentially. Okay, so let's plow another Delver. So I'm building up for Batter Skull, but not really because of days. That's a little bit of an annoying thing about this deck. Is the Stoneforge targets. Now speaking of an annoying thing, 1/1 Channeler. Do I want to play around Murktide Regent or Quarry Steel Cutter? That is not an easy question. Let's get educated with the top of our deck, shall we? Surveil Land. Or Formal Wear. A card that will get dazed a lot. Is that good? Is that even good? I could also draw it with the intention of waiting. Is that insane? Yeah, I don't like waiting. I'll jam it. Plow the Channeler. Fetch. Now, should I go get Island now? I think I should get Tundra. But it's actually a close one. Pre-war Formal Wear. Daze is annoying. Having it forced is, whatever. And resolving it is nice. This also leaves the door open for Ophelia action in the future. I assume this card is going to get killed. The opponent found the land there, which is annoying. Here's Unholy Heat. I draw Wasteland, which, funnily enough, is a good draw. Let's Wasteland the opponent's Volcanic Island. And then I'm super soft to Murktide Region, which is suboptimal, to say the least. Preordain. So in this spot, I basically want to draw a threat and stick it, which is very hard. So this is probably going to be a long one. I'm praying my opponent plays Cutter. That draws sweet. Yeah. This is good. So now I can get rid of Brainstorm Stoneforge, I guess. Let's play Stoneforge Mystic. Let's tutor the Batter Skull I just put back. Now this is a must kill. That's why I want my Stoneforge as the second wave. I expect this to die a lot of the time to a bolt. And the logic is that if it doesn't, I'm in great shape, so I'd rather assume that it does. The opponent shuffles. Gets there with the land. Here's Channeler. Let's see if there's a bolt. There's no bolt, so Batter Skull is going to be in play. So I feel like I should Brainstorm because I could find Wasteland, which looks to be good. If I get dazed here, I'm going to let it resolve. Okay. So now I get to play Tamiyo and activate Stoneforge Mystic. This Stoneforge looks a little bit unexciting, so maybe I can put that all the way down. And go like this. Tamiyo. So this could be Pyroblast on the stack, which I will daze. Pretty cool game here. Let your opponent surveil first, just good habit. Remember, my top card is Purge, so I daze back the Surveil with the intention of milling over the Stoneforge next turn. Yeah, let's pass the turn. Let's say cards like Stifle, Vendilion Click, whatever, was expected out of the opponent's deck. Then I would activate better Stoneforge on my own turn. This looks like... Does this mean Stifle is a card? Okay, well, let's see. Batter Skull, Living Weapon. Get in for 3. That's a good play. Murktide Regent would brick this token, but no such thing. So, guess I should attack with the squad here. Not sure the opponent gives me the draw stib if they have a bounce spell for the germ. They take the damage, which is awesome for me. So now get rid of that Stoneforge. And now I have to think about what to do with the Perch. Do I mind getting my opponent getting Cutter online? Let's see if I can find a good timing. I'll perch it on the draw step here, so my opponent, if they deal with this or have a response, they don't impact their immediate draw step. So if I do it on upkeep and they have something like Bolt Days, whatever, then they get to clear Shitter before drawing it. But now, in a situation where Brainstorm is likely going to be a bad card put back, this is just a slightly more optimal play. That was a cool one. What did we learn? We didn't really learn much except the fact that Pyroblast and all of their removal spells are live here. We also did not face a Daze, which was pretty good, and they learned about our Daze. So, yeah, that game got a little bit awkward because I killed their first big number of threats, but that didn't exactly grant me any guarantees. I was kind of lucky my opponent never found Cutter nor Murktide, so a little bit of a mixed result there. I wish we had more removals, like Murktide removal spell, but I think having like the Dispute as a slight crossover is a good example, stuff like that. Okay, we're straight into action here, and it looks like we're one land from getting to play the game. So I guess fetch basic island, play on some Tamios, hope to buy time as the move. I will be a little bit soft against turn 1 creature with this draw. And there's the turn 1 creature. That's something I wish this deck had more of, 1 mana removal. I tried with the Dismember, but I'm not sure it's enough. Like 0 endings. Maybe 1 prismatic ending is what I want to do next time. Okay, here's a Tundra, which is a fine draw. Not going to fight over this Tameo. I'm now susceptible to Wasteland, so something that would kind of crush me is... Okay, never mind. So maybe I need to get today's a Cutter here. I'll try. Let's see, artifact, land, artifact. So at least my opponent does not get Delirium here. The opponent dazes back. Yeah, they had some very powerful dazes game 1. And now another one here. When I daze on the draw and I end up losing that war, very bad. Very bad. So I'm now in a position where I need to draw like Hydro or Plow to be confident in this game. And even then, I wouldn't exactly call it that. Fetch land, bridges nicely. But maybe my move is I should flip the Tameo. Flip the Tameo to buy a little time. Yeah, that's not bad. That is not bad. So Brainstorm resolves. Oh my god, these cards are atrocious. The Batter Skull is the worst one. Let's see. Maybe I should put Stoneforge there. Yeah, we got a little bit exposed here. I realize the double mulligan is you can kind of write off, but we got exposed a little bit here with, you know, getting run over in a deck that only has 4 plows in it. I think that was pretty cool for showcasing strength and weaknesses of the deck. We didn't get to salvage, or not salvage, we didn't get to take advantage of, you know, the grindier aspects, because the deck with where Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast are live while they're crushing us with 1/1 drops, they just showcased why their deck is good, essentially. So now we soak up 4. Oh, yeah, okay. So the opponent couldn't kill Tameo here. I actually thought it was dead. Soak up 3 damage, which is really, really good. Draw. Yeah, I actually thought Tameo was dead here. Let's see what we can do this game. So the opponent did not have Murktide that would have played it. Do they have bolt type cards? Now the question is, what do we... If they have bolt type cards... Also, why didn't they crack that bauble? I think if I Stoneforge for... Okay, never mind. This is Hardcast Days. Okay. Hardcast Days is not bad for me because it, you know, it counts as a spell towards cutter now, but not, you know, on their turn. So one of the ways I win this game is if they kind of break a little bit on the cutter. I also have outs of, you know, lands and Wrath of the Skies, but it seems highly unlikely. Here's a cutter. Okay, so the opponent was actually just saving for a more explosive turn. That's cool. Pyroblast to Tameo. That's a good play, because now the opponent can get in for a bunch. And it's about closing time for the Baron. I'll take 6, I think. Draw Plow. Just in time. So, let's see. How can I possibly win this game? I think I need to now clue into land, kill the Channeler, then draw Wrath to kill the zeros. I don't think there's a way to win the game if I don't. Simply too slow. All right. Opponent got me good. Let's play some more. All right. Round 2. I'm playing Blue-Eyed Stoneblade, and the mana base hasn't exactly cooperated with me in my 20-land 2-color deck. Mana base is supposed to be, you know, a big draw to the deck that you have like your Island, Ponder, Plain, Stoneforge, you know, foolproof mana base. But yeah, we'll definitely have to have a look at that afterwards. Bloodstained Myro Pass. What on earth is that? The beautiful thing is we know we're searching for lands with our Ponder, so... Okay, I already got the second land. That's sweet. Here's a third one. So... Yes, I like that card. Which card do I want to be left with in hand? If I Stoneforge. Let's see. I could just be dead here, but I think if you start shuffling your Ponders here to try and get super lucky with Daze or Force, I don't think that's a winning strategy. Let's see what this is. Fetch Taiga end of turn. Do nothing with it. Let's see. Croxa. All right, so my top card is what? Brainstorm. So I'm going to Stoneforge for Batterskull next turn. Is this where I just discard Murktide? Or does that card seem insane against that deck? Maybe the card is insane. So the play pattern I'm thinking is going to happen here is I play Stoneforge, find Batterskull. This card dies. I pre-war. And then maybe Murktide when the dust settles. Yeah, I think this is a discard Ponder angle. Because now we know our opponent's a creature deck. I'm drawing another cantrip here. I have Murktide Regen in hand. So just a bunch of things that incentivizes me to play like this. Let's search up Batterskull, which makes Stoneforge a must-kill, which then makes Pre-War Formal Wear pretty darn nice. The opponent's playing colors that will not exile Stoneforge very often. Okay. Yeah, let's see what we're up against. Basking Rootwalla. Is this some Hollowine deck? Basking Rootwalla is okay, buddy. Cabal Therapy. This is awesome. Cabal Therapy naming Batterskull here is super cool. And now the Root Waller can also take care of Murktide if the opponent's scared of that card. Let's see if they want to flashback it as well. That would be pretty cool. Then if they name Murktide Regent, I'm kind of back to the drawing board. Playing against a sweet Jund graveyard deck. Purge is good. Surgicals are probably good. Hydros are probably good. I think it's kind of an underrated aspect of legacy decks where if you know the normally played cards like Surgical, Blasts, Consigns, what have you, if your deck is, you know, susceptible to too many of those, it can be a big problem. Quantum Riddler. How good is that card right now? How good is that card right now? I guess let's brainstorm and see what's going on. Something like Failure would be awesome. Cameo is awesome as well. So now I can put back Plains. Riddler, maybe. Put back Plains Riddler. Play Tameo, play land. And then if my opponent has removal, I can dead it with Brainstorm. Have a Riddler on top of my deck. Am I willing to shuffle that away? I think I am. Arena of Glory, so... Okay. So now the opponent can make Hasted Croxa. Gamble. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty scared about this turn, I must say. Vengevine. Let's see. The opponent might go for Hasted Croxa here. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Well, let's see. What can the opponent do here? Ravager. I think this draws 3 cards. No, when it attacks. That's not good for the opponent, right? So now the opponent will go to the beginning of combat and I will plow it. I thought I was in trouble here for a brief moment, but I look to be fine. Do I attack with Stoneforge here? Yeah, I probably do. Let's attack with the squad. Let's look for Wasteland. Flipping the Tameo. Okay, these are good as well. So maybe I just like these cards, period, and I'll crack a clue end of turn. Pass. Holding up Stifle, cracking a clue. And then I'm back where I started. But that's good. When your hand is good, that's not a problem. Let's try and ponder into something like Wasteland, which would absolutely demolish the opponent. Having double force is not bad. Wow is not bad. Yeah, I guess this is just my will. The world is just my oyster at this point, so... Guess drawing the plow here, plus Tameo. Should I stay back here? I'll try and stay back, see what happens. It's kind of up to the opponent to make a move on me here. Red green, I guess Jund Madness. That's pretty darn cool. Putting in formal wear makes no sense. Here's the second force, which I consider very close to the check mark. It's not my favorite to play against these decks, I must say. So it's more a pretty cool way for me to, I guess, connect the dots real time. That is kind of cool. But testing wise, it doesn't make the most sense. So I guess it's just useful in another way. Here's... Yep, you got it. So Vengevine angle here, I guess. Faithless Looting. So if I force this card, I stop my opponent from randomly hitting Rootwalla. Force a will onto Faithless Looting. And then draw 20 cards. So to elaborate on that point, it's like, let's say, oh wow, my deck is really good against Red-Green Madness, or oh, I got cooked by Red-Green Madness, right? That's not exactly, let's say, a data point. It's more like, I mean, Magic is a fun game and all. All right, enough about that. Sorry about the little rant. So draw a billion cards here, and then how to finish the job. Let's wasteland the opponent's black source. Did I find the Meteor card? I did not. So what am I going to do with the mana here? I guess I just hold up Plow and Step to Failure. Also, I did not find my second Murktide. So my clock is not the fastest. Here's Failure end of turn. Plus the Tammy before I forget. Let's blink that card. Did I find another Wasteland? Yes, I did. So I'll get rid of the Taiga now. Let's see. What do I need mana for now? Yes, I should just play this card. Pass. Tutor up the Meteor thing. Let's see. Does that even destroy lands? Let's just double check here. It does. So Plow on end step. And leave my opponent with 0 permanence. All right. That was pretty darn sweet. Take 5. Turn a force. Do I have an untapped land here? Or a land left in my deck, I guess. Let's see. Maybe I do. Want some Riddler. Pass. 4, 9. It's perfectly in the opponent's right to play out here, by the way. Let's see what we can do sideboarding-wise, because we have a lot of good cards, but now the question is... can we fit them all? Oh, that card is great. Vengevine. Plows are great. Daze, probably not great. Stifle, probably not great. Everything else, probably great. So let's see. That is good. That one is good because of Vengevine and Croxa. I think I'm just looking at these, but that's also a pretty good swap. Tons of interaction. We keep our main plan. I could have looting covered with more negations, but it just seems like... I mean, the opponent is a gamble deck. It just seems like all of these cards are better. Maybe except Formalware. Maybe Formalware is a little bit unexciting. I can cut like 1 Stoneforge, 1 Formalware for a couple of negations. I don't think that is atrocious. Then maybe those can be dazes on the play. Alright, Jund Graveyard Madness shenanigans. Against blue-white. Can we do it? I like this hand. This hand has a plan. This hand can stop a plan. So, decent way to start. Lionside Diamond. I'm just going to let that go here, and I don't know if I'm going to regret it. Gamble. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. I feel like the opponent can do something like Vengevine with the Ravager card. So maybe I have to now beat a Vengevine. I don't even know what that is. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its orb ability. Okay, that's a cool one. Come back from the yard. I feel like my opponent's next turn is going to be really good. So now... I guess I just play my Tamiyo and, you know, let them show me what they got. Let's see what this is. I'm ready to read some more cards here, I feel like. Firestorm, discarding a bunch of stuff. That is really cool. So now, Madness. Rootwell is all goody. And then the Ravager, I feel like I should counter. So yeah, that's certainly not going to happen. So now the thing is, do I discard, pitch Riddler or Ponder? Let's try and see how this plays out. I force down to 4, draw up to 5, play land to 4, play Stoneforge still 4. Yeah, let's not have the Ravager, but it's totally fine that my opponent kills Tameo. That's not a problem. Here comes the Color. Is that the name? Timeline Color from the graveyard. Getting in for 2, and then I hope to stabilize with Batter Skull, essentially. Stoneforge Mystic. We saw Cabal Therapy do some good moves last game. Let's see if the opponent can draw Cabal Therapy. They cannot. I'm at 12. Swords to Plowshares. Feel like I can ponder here. And then I need to fetch before... Oh, these are good. So maybe... Maybe I draw the Surgical here. Try and prevent weird stuff from happening. Such a basic pass. So what I could have done there was take Failure and saying, if my opponent manages to kill the 4/4, then I can flicker the Batter Skull. Here's Faithless Looting. I just feel like Surgical is guarding against the most, you know, bullshit stuff that can happen out of the graveyard. The opponent's going to leave that there. Okay. 1 card in hand. I just feel like Batter Skull is going to take over this game like it's 2014 again. Yeah. Get in there with the Germ. The opponent with the double block. And I think it's Blowout City here. So allow this card so it doesn't come back. Batter Skull beats Root Wall in combat. Ponder. Here's another Stoneforge Mystic. That's probably pretty darn strong. Stoneforge for the Meteor card. And now the opponent is in a world of trouble, to say the least. All right, we got there versus the Madness deck. Let's play one more. Sorry for interrupting the video. Before we move on with crushing the opposition, I just want to shout out my Metafy. This weekend, I worked very, very hard to update all of my favorite decks in Legacy, the best 75s, my top 8, over on my Metafy. This will include, you know, card explanations, different sorts of tips and tricks for the decks, and also sideboard plans against the top 20 decks of the field. We have Isid Cutter, Dimir Tempo, Dimir Reanimator, Katara Tempo, Jeskai Wizards, Eldrazi Aggro, Affinity, and Omniscience. So if you want to get your hands on those, any subscription will grant you the access. I hope to see you over there. Now let's get back to crushing. All right, round 3, everybody's favorite deck, Blue-White Stoneblade. With mixed results, let me put it that way. This hand seems awesome. We're secretly hoping our opponent is some kind of combo deck. So, first of all, we can write the Tameo. Second of all, our counters are good. Blazing fast aggro would be annoying here. Basically, when you have to daze on turn 1, it's annoying. When you have to force a will a random creature, it's annoying. Opponent's on a mulligan, so that just kind of magnifies all of those arguments. Let's see what we're up against. Also, we will learn turn 1 whether Flip Tameo is insane or not. The redundant Tameo in hand is gonna get pitched to Force to Will in a heartbeat if I have to. Wasteland's a good one. Let's just get to combat here, see if the opponent has a weird timing with some cards. They don't. So now, am I interested in getting my Brainstorm dazed? Maybe that's not the end of the world. And I'm not sure it makes any sense to allow that, if that makes sense. All right, let's try and flip this card. Right now, I have no idea if my opponent is a Prismatic Ending deck or whatever. The only thing I know is basically they did not kill the Tameo turn 1, so they don't have removal spell, right? Tameo's my force pitch. Daze works on its own. Stoneforge is a good standalone threat, so maybe a card like... What if I go like this? Put land back, put Wasteland back. If I need the land, I'll draw it. Thing is, I just want my third land drop so often here, so maybe it's the Ponder. Maybe it's like... Maybe it's like this. Flip Tameo. I think it's almost unthinkable the opponent plows me here, but if they do, I would be very happy. So now I get to pass the turn. My top card is a land. In case I get randomly wasted, I just don't see it. Ooh, so we're up against Show and Tell. Okay. So I really like Tameo here against Show and Tell. First of all, card advantage. Second of all, it's a clock. And third of all, it's, you know, recurring forces after, you know, getting depleted over a fight. So I don't want to draw the land because I'm playing against Show and Tell. I like my Wasteland. Archive. Don't like Switch to Plowshares. At this point, if my opponent is some Beanstalk deck, I guess they got me. Wasteland. Gonna play Stoneforge for the 7-drop. Meteor Shower. No, that's not the name. Meteor Sword. I will know that card's name one day, but not today. So now with them being hopefully a 0 mana, a 0 removal spell, this sword will leave them in the dirt. Okay, that draw is decent. Now I think what I'm supposed to do is uptick and then upkeep activate Stoneforge. Blow up the island. Turn on Daze. A consideration here was to keep this card until Show and Tell is cast, but I think this is just better when I have Daze. Village. Brainstorm. That's all good, buddy. Now I'm going to draw a million cards and Wasteland the Village. And the game is over. Pretty cool tool here against Show and Tell. Not only as a Show and Tell, you know, put that card in, have a good laugh, but just making Stoneforge Mystic an actual super threat against them. It's like 2-mana must counter. All right. Let's draw some cards. Browse for a Wasteland. I didn't find Wasteland. Okay. Okay. The opponent's seen enough here. They know I'm playing Blue-White Stoneblade. And I know they're playing Show and Tell. Love those. Love that one. So the original list of this deck had like a single copy of Lavinia. I thought about Meddling Mage, but the thing about Oh, I have a sneeze coming. I guess I dodged it. The thing about those hate bears is they're just a little bit what's that word called? They're not too great against all that many decks, so I decided to go with some more bread and butter stuff. But you can certainly do it. Couple of surgicals. In general, I don't think these cards are amazing. It's mainly because they're only good if I already won one counter war, and that is a little bit, I don't know, it's just not that exciting. So I'm cutting 6 cards here, 4 plows. Those are going to be, you know, in the conversation for sure. And then I think I'm going to cut an equipment and a surgical now. Now the question is which equipment it should be. Yes, this equipment is just straight up bad. So let's see. If my opponent force will Stoneforge, this equipment could be a decent draw. Maybe that's the logic. Maybe a sideboard like this. Now is consigned to memory. It's consigned to memory. No, that's not good. I already have stifles. So maybe just a random blue card. I guess that's better. I really don't think consign is good, but you know, it's a blue card, my 7/4 deck. All right, that went exactly according to plan. Early Tamiyo, Stoneforge resolving, Days Wasteland coming together. Let's see what we can do here when we're back in a little bit less impressive fashion here. If I can, I'll try and think about Carpet of Flowers here. Okay. My opponent thinks about it for me. Resolving Terminal Carpet is acceptable for me. So I already have the planes. Then I'm gonna fetch or surveil, play planes next turn. Maybe I shouldn't even fetch surveil. Maybe I should just chill depending on what happens. There exists a world where the opponent's just a little bit stuck on mana here. Never mind. All right, so the opponent's already gonna cast must force cards now, which is scary. Yeah, this is not a game I'm winning. I'm gonna give it a try though. Okay, I'll give my opponent mana. I want to draw Stoneforge. And there's a bunch of cards I don't want to draw, so... Oh, okay, I messed up here. I was supposed to do this on instep. I forgot about the carpet. Or let me put it this way, I thought the carpet was already triggered. All right, well, if my opponent just casts a ponder here, I'm a big fool. Okay, this cycle. Maybe that even ends up a net gain for me, that the opponent cycles for a land here. Stifle. I highly doubt that Stifles can... Oh, shoot, I forgot about the One Ring out of that deck. How many consigns did I add? I should have had more consigns. All right. That's daggers. It looks like I'll be having a game 3 to do better. I kind of deserve to get... yeah, sure, buddy. So you're saying there's a chance. Show and tell. Omniscience. Please pass the turn. Let's stifle that. And then I feel like I need to draw another. Another stifle, that is. Okay. All right. That was not impressive. Ah, darn, I forgot about... Yeah, I need these cards. So now the question is, what is it that I don't need? I don't think I need this formal wear now. Now that I have connected the dots. Carpet of Flowers, super annoying. Need to cut one more card. Which could be a Consign, which could be a Stifle. Which could be a Daze. How crazy is it to cut something like a Failure and saying this game is less about that card? Hmm. It is just good, right, to get something going. Once Carpet hits the battlefield, Daze is very bad. Hmm. Or, yeah, I mean, I guess the Stoneforge is just insane, right? Because now, then Show and Tell is a blank. Ah! I should probably cut a land. The more I think about it, basic island seems not very important. The carpet is so annoying because it obsoletes a lot of stuff on my end. Hmm. All right, let's do it. Tundra Ponder. Trying to find the second layer here. Easy mode is starting with Tamiyo against that deck. Can't have that every time. Let's see if we can ponder into something like a Stoneforge. Okay, I think I'm willing to draw a Wasteland, but I really don't want to Wasteland turn 2, because then I draw... opponent. We already discussed this. Let's force a negation. Pitch Consign to Memory. That is so annoying. I'm gonna fight over the mana here. But I think I need to let my opponent have mana for one turn. Because my next draw is a land, and I think that's unacceptable. And if I get buried by stock up here, so be it. But I think it's better than giving up a time walk turn. So now, if I find some kind of action here, I really like my spot. Okay, well. So let's cast Ponder, because I play a deck with Tamiyo, Stifle, stuff like that. Okay, so one more turn of this kind of drawing a bad card. No, sorry, drawing a Wasteland and a good card, then shuffling. So my plan is basically that I want my opponent to find Surveil here, and then I want to hit them with the next Wasteland as well. Let's see if my land destruction plan works out. I think I'm supposed to draw step this Wasteland, technically. I'll go for the normal duel here, because if they have to daze later, I want them to return the tap land. Here's Stoneforge Mystic. Getting the Meteor. And then Wasteland keeping them down. Okay, what is this? Yeah, I'm not sure about that fetch. Get rid of the blue-green land. Here's village. Days. Not bad, not bad. I think I'm gonna destroy the island on my opponent's upkeep here. The fact that I drew days here, it's pretty special because now there's just a higher chance days is on, and then I can start equipping the Stoneforge and attacking, right? Letting Ponder resolve is annoying. Should I have countered it? Return the Surveil land? I'm not too sure. Opponent shuffles. Here's a pedal. Pedal is fine. No carpet. I would have loved to catch a carpet here. I think I should just draw. Brainstorm. Brainstorm's probably better than equipping. Failure is the exact card I want in this spot. So, put back Stoneforge, put back Ponder. Attack for Uno, and then I feel like this is the turn for the opponent. It's pretty cool that... That is a good one. That is a good one. So, let's see. I cannot let my opponent have 2 mana here. I should only let my opponent have 1 mana. So I think what I'm supposed to do now is play Failure off of Plains. Then Daze the Carpet. Because now if they pay, then sure it enters and it only adds 1 mana, and then I start Failure land destructing with the sword. So yeah, that worked out. Double forcing over turn 1 carpet is ideal for the opponent, but I was lucky that my Wasteland Meteor Sword plan came together, and yeah, burying them with Failure. I even boarded out a Failure, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. Okay, yeah, Failure plus Sword, very, very cool against show and tell strategies. So I feel like I got to showcase the deck a decent amount. I got run over by Tempo. I played against a FNM deck in the second round, and then we got to play against the other big dog, whatever you want to call it here, to showcase the power of Stoneforge into the sword. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I always enjoy making these videos. I hope you guys enjoy watching them as well. Yeah, I'll be back soon with more gameplay. So yeah, don't be a stranger. Thanks so much for watching.